That's a good beat right there, because then I'm going to do my stuff over that, and then I'm going to say we're going to go into our lesson. No, that's actually good. That is actually good. I want to take this opportunity and welcome you in to another edition of Successful Living. We're at the year end. We're at 1427 Lawrence Road, Suite E. We are thankful for the I Am Church leader, Bishop Jeff Akers, and to the I Am Church family for allowing us to spend another year here with them. So we don't want to take anything for granted. We're at year end. A couple things I want to share with you before we go into our lesson this evening, which is going to be kind of a light lesson, but it has a little bit of, I don't know if we want to call it spam or some hyena. It's not going to be that bad, but it's got a couple of things that we're working on. Do I now? Well, a little it's just to make us think. So I want to take this opportunity and welcome in the Greenville campus as well as the Greenwood campus, and to all of those that are part of our virtual campus. We want to thank you for your support and all of your endeavors. To everyone that has served, we are closing out a pandemic year, and it almost looked like the pandemic, the COVID-19 and the variants is raising going into 2022. But just have a few words of encouragement and let you know that some of the things that we're trying to grow and build to for year 2022, and we're looking for, again, some bilingual interpreters, some bilingual musicians. Love to have some Colombian, some Latino gospel singers and guitar players, as well as musicians, urban as well as some country gospel. If you have any of these skills or talents, would like to be a part of our worship and our leadership, leading, what do they call them, praise and worship leaders and flag ministry, please don't hesitate. We're here every Sunday morning at 1427 Suite E, Launch Road in Greenville, South Carolina. We normally come in around 8 o'clock. Broadcast is set for 8:30. We thank all of those that have contributed. Then around 10:45 a.m., we will be at the Greenwood campus, and that is at 210 Pansy Road, Hodges, South Carolina. We're there at 2:10, and we're normally done by 12 noon. Spoke with a lot of people who watched this year on the broadcast as far as the virtual campus, and new people who have watched us. Please, we still practice social distancing. Have your mask, check your temperature. Come on in, be a part of the broadcast, because we're looking to grow and build in year 2022. So I want to thank everyone who've helped us, supported us financially. The 3 for 3 campaign is ending on the 31st of December. Please go to the website, houseofreconciliation.org. You can contribute to the food bank. You can contribute to a doctor school program. And we also have shoes and clothes to Haiti. So those three will run through December the 31st. We will take a break and come back around the 1st of April and run our second campaign. First time in the history of the ministry, nearly 70 years old, started out of Greenwood, South Carolina, that the ministry has been able to do the things that we have done in 2021. So we're forever grateful that you have. So what we want to do is look at starting 2022 off on the right foot. You can do that by joining us here, 1427 Suite E, Launch Road, Greenville, South Carolina, this coming Sunday morning, which will be in the new year. First Sunday of the new year. Come in around 8:15. We have praise and worship, the words on the floor. We're normally done by 9:40, 9:45, because then we have to head down the road to the Greenwood campus, and then they're having tea and coffee fellowship. So that starts around 10:30 till about 10:50. And so please join us. If you're in Greenwood, Hodges, McCormick, Clinton, Lawrence area, 96, please come on out and join us there. We want to grow in 2022 that we can do those same types of things here in the Greenville campus. Come and please be a part of our growth. Here's what we want to do is talk about, please don't lose sight of your 2020 goals. We kind of close the year in the winter series talking about purpose over people. The first part of that purpose is purpose over me. Purpose over my mind. Purpose over my feelings. Purpose over my emotions. Purpose over my pain. Purpose over my situation. Purpose over my failure. Purpose over me. The second part of purpose is purpose over people. And really, it's not so much of people as it is a person. Because there can be a person or a group or an association of people that can become a hangnail in your life. And that is either from your past, either struggling in your present. But many people in your present, many people in your past really have nothing to do with your future. Your future is all about the decisions you make and the processes that you follow. So what happens is the people you with, I need you to ask yourself something. Are they really going anywhere? Are you really going anywhere? Because if you don't have a plan for your future, someone else got a plan for your tomorrow. So then we talked about not only purpose over people, purpose over a situation, but also purpose over corporate. Because corporate many times can stifle and hinder your gifts and your opportunities. What does that mean? Because most people are programmed to work for a company. They're programmed to look for promotions in a company. They're programmed to think that they want to be with that company until they retire. The truth of the matter is, most companies don't want you to retire with them. Because paying you a 401k is really dead money on the books. And now we won't even get into that piece, but you just Google it, look it up. So you have to decide for yourself, do I really have a plan for my life moving forward? Now, here's how most people get stuck. The moment, chaos, confusion, trouble, sickness, death, financial, destitute. And that makes people feel like they're busy. Hurt, pain, brokenness, forgotten. That makes people feel like they're pain because there are so many people struggling, surviving, crawling, staggering, that you feel like you're in the right group. My question to you this evening is, what happens when you get up? What happens when you see the light? What happens when the light bulb comes on in your head? All the decisions that you made while you were in the basement, the people you hung out with, and the people that you crawl with, are you equal when you stand up? Will they see you as an equal when they stand up? Because at some point in your life and in my life, we literally have to get up, grow up, and move forward. So this evening, I want to talk to you about this. Please don't lose sight of your goals and your aspirations in 2022. And I'm not saying your resolution, because everybody has had a resolution at some point in time every year. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. Here's the real kicker. You meant what you said. You really did. And in that moment, you thought that you really was going to do it. But I'm going to give you why you couldn't do it. You started too late. And when you started, you didn't have any of the behavior or any of the prep work. So if you're going to write a couple things, I'm going to give those to you, because I know everybody, well, not everybody, is trying to get together and have a wonderful New Year's Eve celebration. Nothing in the world is wrong with that. But I want to give you a couple things. If you and I wait and think that January the 1st, our lives are going to be different, it will not be unless you and I have done the prep work. What does that mean? There are some associations you cannot carry over in 2022. There are some thoughts, some tendencies, some behaviors, some ways that you and I respond to certain things that inflame us. We can't wait to January the 1st and think that all of our enemies and all of our distractions are just going to poof, disappear. We have literally, in most cases, fooled ourselves every year. You cannot wake up on January the 1st, and a lot of people will be there in the gym. Yeah, I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to work out every week. Most of the time, it don't last 2 weeks. You know why? Yes, it's not a new learned behavior. Failure has to become an old acquaintance. So we don't like to do the prep work. It's just like if you haven't ran or jogged in 3 months or 5 years, you can say, oh, I can run a mile in whatever. I don't know what an average runner or jogger runs in a mile. 4 minutes, okay? You can't do it now. 1/10 of a mile, EMS might be having to come and get you. What are you saying? You haven't conditioned yourself. We haven't prepped ourselves. That prep is critical. I said one time I was on a broadcast, and, for me, I like to fix omelets, morning, evening, whatever. So I started, and I love hot ghost peppers and jalapenos, and I get them, and I forget to put them in. And I get everything together, and I sit down and eat. And right when I get ready to eat, something says, where's your ghost peppers? Where's your jalapeno peppers? I didn't gather all the ingredients. So then everything that I prepared doesn't taste like it should. So I'm going to give you a couple things and let you go. If we don't start prepping, then the new year will still function in old patterns. Bible talks about taking new wine and putting old wine skins. The New Testament also talks about the 5 wise and the 5 foolish. 10 virgins in a parable heard the same thing. And I studied it for years. Why did 5 prepare and 5 didn't? And I finally found the simple revelation. The 5 foolish thought they had enough, and they didn't factor in the waiting period, the transitional period. The 5 wise said, hey, we got to make sure that we can endure this, because the word is given as a promise. If you're taking notes, that's something to write. The word is given as a promise that is given to the fact that what God said he will do, he will do. The question is, am I in position for what God says he would do? The parable says that the bridegroom would come, but it didn't say when. But they knew he would come. And the 5 foolish thought, oh, let's say he's coming. He'll be here in a minute. Those 4 things. Illusion, imagination. What was the other 2? I know it was illusion. Yes, hypothetical thinking was number 4. The first one was a false illusion. Number 2 is imagination, I believe. I know number 4 is hypothetical thinking, but it was one other one. Because there's good and bad imagination. There's hallucination. I can't figure. We'll figure it out. I don't have it. I don't have it in my notes. I'd have to spend for quite a while. But those 4 things were the things that affected the five foolish. They perceived the false narrative that they knew when he was coming. And the bridegroom came at midnight. And the five wise virgins had oil and extended oil in their vessels. They were prepared for the long haul. The five foolish were temporarily prepared because they went off of their feelings and emotions rather than their intellect and intelligence. So, if we're looking for a new year, the question is, will we still continue to function in old patterns? January the 1st, if that's our case, will just be another day. Here's a couple things I'm going to give you. Number one, know this. Know this. Regardless of what you say and I say, we can't fix ourselves without God's intervention. Number one. Ministry, church, has to be a part of our lives in 2022. We can go to work. Right now, with all the college football playoffs going on, there are thousands and thousands of people at the stadium. Hopefully, they have done what it is necessary to protect themselves as well as others. But I want you and I to know the reason that we're running amok or running off the road is that we don't have the power to fix ourselves. The Bible says, for God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. 2022, please look for a place of worship. We found it. Hallucination. Okay, so we have illusions, imagination, and then hallucinations and hypothetical thinking. This is what happens. This is my grandson. He just wants me to beat him up. He's just not happy until I knock him out. So after I teach class, I'll get him. He's 5, and he's really 5. But there's a spiritual part of us that we can't fix. It has to be fixed by God, and it's not something that can be fixed overnight. Here is a problem. This is why we're doing the winter series, Purpose Over People. Something and someone is keeping you from going to worship. When you come to worship, don't worry about who's there and who's not there and who's this, that, and the other. Come and worship the Lord. A little hard to do because it hadn't been done often. We can do church. But we can be entertained, because a lot of church in probably since 2017 has been entertainment. We've had great praise and worship leaders, and we kind of sit back and, oh, you take me to heaven, and oh, I want the Lord, oh, good, thank you. The Bible never said for the praise and worship leaders to worship God. He says, let everything that has breath. See, part of healing and part of accepting and understanding revelation is also a level of participation that comes to worshiping God. Number 2, what? Who is planning, managing, controlling you and your family's future? Say that again. What? Who is planning, managing, controlling you and your family's future? Right now, about 93% of Americans would say they're not making enough income. What's going to change? It's tough to live a certain way, but only make certain money. There's a few people that'll help you out here and there and every now and then. But my question is, how do you help out? How do you take yourself and your family and control your future at the next level. Very few companies give out 8,000% raises. And if you need a certain amount, figure out the amount you need, look at what you make, look at the percentage, and see if it's in your HR plans that they will pay you that amount to take care of your family. That, I think we got stuck on that one. I'm going to just roll my eyes over here on that one. Because if somebody to come and do something, madam, sir, you will literally run out of time before it happens. Number 3, what is preparing your destiny? What? It's kind of a hard question. So let me dabble into it. What is preparing your destiny? Is it your anger? Is it your frustration? Is it your lack of? Who didn't? Who did? Oh, okay, I forgot. You didn't know you had a destiny. Because you're part of the TikTok on somebody else's clock. And it all depends on how they turn the dial. You're part of their success. And so you're only a part of what they need to get to where they want to go. So I said again, number 3, what's preparing? Can I put it in lay terms? Will your overtime bail you out? Will your hard work get you promoted? Will your loyalty turn into 12% increase? Will your anger solve your issues? I just saw a man in Hendersonville go to jail. Why? For whatever reasons, he was ticked off at the church, so he just spray painted the church. We're so busy in life and dysfunction that we have more adolescent kids getting a hold of guns and shooting people and shooting themselves because we're driving with our phone, we're turning with our phone, we're sleeping with our phone, we're eating with our phone, we're in the shower with our phone, we're on the toilet with our phone. Yes, most phones they make now. Now, see, I'm old enough to remember if you drop the phone in the water, you may as well just keep walking because it won't work. Now you can get in the shower with your phone and just do whatever you be on the toilet, be driving. I saw a man in my lane and his lane and the other lane, and he was just on the phone, and people started blowing at him, and he started flipping people off. But he didn't see he was in the wrong because, see, the phone gives you all the attention that you want, but it can't take you to where you're supposed to be. You can get the attention. That's why I say, what's preparing your destiny? You're dependent on luck, a male, a female, a company. Just a question. Let me give you this to close 2021. It's not about what you have done. That's why some people are not a part of a lot of worship centers and places to go pray and do that sort of thing because they're looking at the people. It's not about what you've done. So you should never feel that guilty. And sometime when we talked about bodies in the basement, sometime we didn't tell you this part, sometime you're in the basement with the bodies. Want me to take you a step farther? Well, I didn't know I was in the basement with the bodies. You know why? You become immune to the scent. You become immune to the blinders. So when you become immune to something, you don't see them in your peripheral vision. You don't see them because you have blinders on. You're immune to the stench of constant failure. So now when it comes to talking about God, there's this guilt and this convicted kind of mindset that God wouldn't want me and God doesn't love me. And the God says plainly, come as you are. come broken, come wounded, come messed up. Because obviously, we haven't done so well fixing ourselves. You can stroke your ego and you can be very arrogant, but it still doesn't change the truth about you and your narrative. And the truth be told, the psychiatrists say when a person has these type of traits, arrogance and cockiness and controlling issues, they're really insecure. And they're not dumb and they're not stupid, but here's the issue. They also are not open to information that they didn't give. Gotcha, didn't it? Yeah. It's not about what you've done. Now here's the second part of what others have done to you. What it's really about is how do you plan to start off 2022 in the right way. And guess what? You may have started out 2021 strong, but I'm going to ask you a personal question now. Did you finish strong? You may have made it through first quarter. You may have done well in second quarter. The question becomes, did you finish stronger? Because going into 2022, if you and you and you and you and I don't properly prep and start off right and fight the focus to keep it right, get the 4 elements. I've talked about them before. I can remember those. Get the right attitude, the right behavior, because attitude affects behavior. Keep the right focus. Don't be distracted. Take off the fireman's helmet. Don't have the Lord have to come with a bat. You done prayed on January, whatever the 3rd Sunday, Lord, January 2nd, Lord, help me. Lord, if you have to, hit me in the head, Lord, so I stay here, Lord. Make me stay here, Lord. And then when the Lord sends an angel to pop you, I can't believe the Lord, I thought the Lord loved me. You ask God to sick the hellhounds on you. Yes, you ask for the knot on your head. Yes. Then you ask God to beat you. Make me stay, Lord, I want to stay. Oh, Jesus, you might have to. So listen, these items here, let's try to put them down in 2022. You shouldn't have to be whooped all the time. Let the church say amen. Nobody should have, you should not be 16, 18, and your grandpa and your grandma still got to come out there with a belt and whoop you in the yard. 30 years old, somebody got to come. You can't keep with y'all. Somebody got to come by and just beat on your door, beat on your head. Get up. You can do it. Okay. I'm tired now. Do I know? You brought back memories? Yeah, that's old school. Now you got, oh my God, we don't believe in church size in our children. I mean, we just say, Jimmy, stop that. Yeah, well, okay, tap on the hand. And then Jimmy cussing you out. Ain't no way in the world. I got a little bit of old school in me. My grandson, 5 years old, I wish he would say something out of line. We'll cut the camera off on that one. Yeah. So does God still have to whoop you to make you worship? Does God still have to send the hell angels after you to make you come pray? Because you somewhere still angry? Here's the thing. It's how you plan to start. Gather the ingredients and begin to prep. What does that mean? You will concentrate more on what you're building for and where you're going than living where you feel like you've been stuck. And you will get over the opinions. That's up on the slide. I don't know if we have our slide. You had a purpose before people had an opinion. opinion about you. Some people can't climb the mountain because they're stuck behind somebody else's opinion. So their opinion overrule your purpose. So God blesses you to get a new job. God blesses you to get a new career. God blesses you to have the opportunity to go to school. You think silence is loneliness. Silence is a time to clear your mind and begin to prep for your future. That's what it's about. Here's the thing. I understand some people don't want to change. And they're not going to do anything to change. But here's what I also understand. I want you to really write this one down. But understand, God's not going to compete with your distractions and your dysfunctions. I want you to understand that. If you don't get nothing else out of this tonight, understand in 2022, God is not going to compete with our distractions. He's not. No matter how heavy our heart is, no matter how burdened, God's not going to compete when we keep allowing things to distract us that makes us dysfunctional. Here's the thing. Some people don't plan on doing nothing. And I mean, they don't want nothing in their world to change. I have something for you. All ideas take work. All ideas take work. All ideas take work. They have to be processed. Here's the thing. Are you willing to work your ideas in 2022? Because the number 20 means redemption. So yes, there is a point in a time of recovering. But also the number 22 means light and manifestation in the light. And it has two factors to it. One of the factors is turning the light on the things that kept you behind. Turning the light on the people that you thought were friends were really enemies. Turning the light on the failures and the deceitfulness and the cunningness of the enemy. And then it also turns the light on you and say, this is where you can be. This is where you can grow. This is where God will have you. People say, well, God told them in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. The problem is we want it all. We want to be bad, mischievous, ugly, nasty people, say what we want to say, cuss people out, take what we want to take, still be a saint, still be a believer, want to be the preacher and the pimp, want to be the preacher and the clown, want to be the pastor and the monkey, want to be all these things. We want to be Sugar Daddy Slim, and yet we want to be Sacred Paul. Don't work that way. So guess what? If you focus only on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. Nothing about 2022 will change, and nothing about 2021 will go away. If you focus on only the hurt. You can ask me, why did I say that? Because many people feel like they're lost and they lose when they're hurt. Here's the key. Did you take time to learn the lesson in the failure? Did you take time to figure out why it happened? Because if you learned from it, it wasn't failure. It was just an optical course. Many people right now are hung up on what happened and how it happened and who did it and what they thought should have happened. But they never learned the lesson. See, if you open your mind to learning, learning will ease the pain of hurt and failure. And if you're truly learning, now you're gravitating away from the things that cause you pain and numbness all the time. So I say it again. If you focus on the hurt, the failure, you'll always suffer. And that's when you get the bodies in the basement. That's when you get the serial killer. That's when you get the walking dead. What is the walking dead? It's people who have no future. They have no hope. They have no desire. They just function in dysfunction. Dysfunction is their function. It is like people that I know who are functional alcoholics or functional addicts. No matter what goes on, no matter how many pills they take, they'll find a way to make it through the day. It's called a dependency. So I say to you, if you focus on the lesson, you will outgrow the pain of your past, and you'll outgrow failure on a consistent basis. Here's the thing. Your inheritance, number 3, and your future opportunities are in your hands. I'll say it again. Number 3. Number 1 is, if you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. Number 2, if you focus on the lesson, you will outgrow the pain of your past. Number 3, your inheritance and your future opportunities are in your hands. I'm going to give you this and I'm going to close. You can't ask for the best and not be willing to change and grow. I'm going to say that again. You can't ask, and no need to pray, and no need to go into church on first Sunday now. God, I want to be the best. Oh, I can be God. I want to live. And the first thing God's going to do and tell you in your life, okay, you really want to be the best, Reggie? We got to take out some trash. You really want to be the best, Reggie? We got to change that attitude. You really want to be the best, Reggie? We're going to have to change that behavior. You really want to be the best, Reggie? You're going to have to learn how to focus. You really want to be the best, Reggie? You're going to need some continuing education. You really want to be the best and provide something? You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to come out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to get away from what's familiar to you. And you're going to have to get in the unfamiliar. People you don't know. People that don't look like you. People that don't talk like you. People don't socialize where you socialize. They have purpose. That's only if you want to take your inheritance, your future, and opportunities in your hands. You can't ask God. You can't ask to be the best and not be willing to change and grow. Let me give you this as we close. When you have a problem going into 2022, and we will, don't let people be the first resource you reach out to. I'll say it again. As you and I are going to have issues and challenges going into even the first day, if we're alive, because I had to do a service for a gentleman who walked in the mall on the first day of a new year and died in the door. Young man of a massive heart attack. If you have a problem, don't let people be the first thing or first group you reach out to. Stop asking people, watch this, and this is one to write. Stop asking people who are spiritually blind to proofread the vision that God is giving you. I'll say it again. Stop asking people who are spiritually blind to proofread the vision that God has given you. What we should all do, reach out to God. Get the revelation so you can understand the situation. I'll say it again. Reach out to God. Get the revelation from God so you can understand the situation. God bless you. I'll see you in the new year. Have a wonderful evening.